Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 more things you probably don't know about Kaspa. And a little over a year ago, I actually made a video entitled 5 Things You Might Not Know About Kaspa, and you should probably check this out first before you watch this one so that now you can know probably 10 things you originally did not know about Kaspa. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what Coinbase means. So in the early days of Kaspa, when a lot of people were first coming on to the Kaspa ecosystem, they would look in the Kaspa explorers and see the word Coinbase in relation to transactions. And you can see here it says Coinbase, and then in parentheses it says new coins. Well, some people that were not familiar with proof of work mining and how it works and all that, anytime new coins are created because a miner finds a block, these new coins are called Coinbase coins, basically. So people were thinking that this Coinbase was actually related to the Coinbase exchange and were putting on social media that Coinbase might be coming soon. But this has nothing to do with that. Coinbase is just simply another word for new coins that have been added to the network. The next thing that you probably did not know is related to the Kaspa emission schedule. So let's read what Shai says here. So he says, did you know you can measure the Kaspa block reward using nothing but a piano and a frequency sensor? First, locate the middle C. That's the fourth lowest C note on a grand piano. Now locate the first A above that C. Write 1 on that key. Now moving left, number each key, including black keys, 1 higher. That is, G number is 2, G is 3, and so on. Now, if you want to know the block reward in the nth month of the deflationary phase, all you have to do is hit the key numbered N and measure the frequency of its note. This method is good for the first 49 months of the deflationary phase, after which the lowest note in the piano, A0, which has a frequency of 27.5. So each key on a piano has a certain frequency, and the Kaspa emission schedule is actually decreasing in accordance to that exact frequency. And you can see that in this picture related right here. So the first block deflationary phase reward was 440 Kaspa per block. And if we go to the piano over here, you could see that A4 starts at 440 frequency. And then if we go all the way up to the month that we're in right now, which is December of 2024, you can see that it's 73.4 Kaspa per block. And then if we look at the frequencies here, you're going to see that there's a frequency here that is 73.4, and then it goes all the way down to 27.5, which is the lowest frequency you can get on a piano. And this also happens on the emission schedule. If we go over here and scroll all the way down here, you're going to see that on month 55, we're going to hit 27.5. So this is just kind of cool to see that the emission schedule is actually based on a piano frequency, and this is just following perfectly to that. And on top of that, it's also interesting to note that the 10 blocks per second hard fork is called crescendo, which is also related to music. So it's just cool to see that a lot of Kaspa related things are related to something in regards to music. And this probably just has to do with the fact that Shai is into that kind of stuff as well. And I'm pretty sure he was the one behind creating the schedule by just making it based off of the piano frequency. So really, really neat to see that. The next thing we're going to talk about is answering the question why almost every single address starts with the letter Q. I don't know if you noticed this, but when someone pointed this out to me, I was like, man, I have not noticed the fact that every single Kaspa address starts with the letter Q. But there are some addresses that start with the letter P, like right here. There's a P there, there's a P there, but the majority of all other addresses start with Q. And this was pointed out by Kaspa Facts. And he says, why does each Kaspa address start with Q? The first byte after the separator, colon, identifies the length and version of the hash of the address. BEC32 is encoded with 5 bits. Addresses can only start with QQ, QP, QZ, QR, or QY. Coder of Stuff over here gives us some more information saying that some addresses will start with P and gives us an example address. And this example address is a Kaspa dev fund, which starts with the letter P. And then Kaspa Facts does a little bit more investigating into this and pretty much notices that most of the addresses that start with the letter P are multi-sig addresses, which from my knowledge, the only way you can get a multi-sig address is by creating a Kaspa wallet using the CLI tool. So if we look at the top addresses here and go down the list again, you're going to see that all the ones that have the letter P are things related to funds, which are being controlled by multi-sig addresses by the treasurers of Kaspa. But pretty much any kind of addresses that are created that, to my knowledge, has any kind of relation with multi-sig or KRC20 tokens, which involves creating addresses in a particular way to work with that protocol, they will start with the letter P. The fourth thing on the list is going to be related to the DAA score. So recently we got this post by Kaspa Currency saying Kaspa Testnet 11 hard fork has been successfully activated at DAA score and this large number here. And so a lot of people may not know what DAA score is. So the DAA score stands for difficulty adjustment algorithm, and Shai gives us a little bit more information on what this does within Kaspa. So each block in Kaspa has something called a DAA score. To see the DAA score of the UTXOs comprising your wallet, look it up on explore.kaspa.org and then switch to the UTXO view, see attached image. And I can just show you guys right here that every single UTXO that you ever get within a wallet will have a block DAA score. And you could see that right here. There's a score for every single one of these UTXOs. He goes on to say here that the DAA score is almost the number of blocks in the past of the block. The DAA score is a rather good measure of how many seconds passed since Genesis and until this block was created. So basically the DAA score is giving us the number of blocks that ever existed. And since every single block happens every second, we can actually use this to calculate how many seconds have passed ever since the Kaspa network has started. And I can show you that by heading over to the kaspang.org website and going to the block DAG visualizer. And you can see here that every single time a block is put out, you have the amount of DAA score that it contains. So if I go to this block right here, for example, you're going to see that when this block came out, it was 98,002,934 DAA. And if I go to ChatGPT and say, how many days is 98,002,934 seconds, and click enter, it's going to run the calculations for that. That's going to equal about 1,134 days and 7 hours rounded to the nearest whole day. So if I go to this website over here, I can go ahead and put that many days. So it's 1,134 days. Let me change that right here on the website address. And you're going to see right here that 1,134 days before now is going to be November 7th, 2021. And if we look at the Kaspa wiki and the timeline, you could see that 2021 November, Kaspa mainnet launched announcement via Discord. So that's the day that Kaspa was launched, which was November 7th, 2021. And you can see how the DAA score pretty much perfectly gave us the amount of seconds that have passed since this day. The last thing that we're going to talk about is the max supply of Kaspa. So in one of my recent videos, I pointed out that the max supply of Kaspa is 29 billion, and this is the hard-coded supply. But if you look at a lot of different wallet explorers or just different people who are providing data on Kaspa, they typically say that the max supply is 28.7 billion. So why is there a difference, and why are they not putting the exact max supply that is hard-coded within the Kaspa network? Well, the Kaspa wiki actually goes into this. So it says right here, what is the total supply? Approximately 28.7 billion CAS, which is a fixed supply with no plans to increase. Then it asks the question, why am I seeing different max supplies in different places? It says, in a nutshell, the hard cap in the code is 29 billion, but overall supply is an estimate due to the halving schedule being on DAA scores. So this is kind of good that I decided to explain this to you guys first. And then it says rounding, original GameNet stage, random rewards, and possibility for emission to reduce with faster block rates. And this is going to happen because once we go to 10 blocks per second, every single block is no longer going to contain the same amount of Kaspa that it was containing before. So if the block reward was 100 Kaspa per block, and then we're going to 10x it, that means each block is now going to just have 10 Kaspa instead of 100, which will basically also interfere with how the DAA score works, since now we're having 10 blocks come out every single second. So it's just going to basically change the exact number that will exist. And so since they used a script for this, the estimate that they got was 28.7 billion. And so when they elaborate this more, they tell us a little bit more information of what happened here. It says there was a random reward subphase during the first 2 weeks of the mainnet where the block reward was pseudo random in the range of 1 to 1000 with the expected average value of 500, but it turned out the average was more like 750 instead, still distributed randomly between miners though, hence about plus 300 million to the estimated supply of the stable reward phase. The halving schedule is based on a DAA score calculation, and since in real time the DAA score looks slightly different for each node, not all nodes know of all blocks generated at any given moment thanks to the DAG structure, where there could be more than one block mined simultaneously in the different ends of the Kaspa network. Each node decided separately whether it's already time for reward reduction or it is not yet. So miners on different nodes can have a different reward for their blocks during the phase change period, up to 18 seconds in total. This could give a slight noise to the total emission, but that noise would hardly exceed tens of thousands of Kaspa. Moreover, due to the parallel nature of DAG, we can have an anti-chain of parallel blocks, all with score exactly below the transition score. However, there is a limit to the number of such parallel blocks being rewarded, namely the DAA window size, 2641, very untight upper bound indeed. So we can take 2641 blocks from every month and give them the reward of the month before, which is equal to simply adding 2641 extra blocks with current this month reward. This could give another tens of thousands of Kaspa. Sometimes DAA scores jumps up by a certain value thanks to blocks parallel creation, so the exact border of the reward switching could not be achieved, and this gives yet another swing in total emission. But it's too expressed in hundreds to thousands Kaspa at each new reward phase start. So to conclude, the total emission may change with small limits, but it's guaranteed to never reach to over 29 billion. And the most accurate value that is available for evaluation is given by the bot in the Discord, 28.7 billion, and a little bit more extra Kaspa here. In the period of 36 years from the mainnet start, November 7th, 2021. So just again, in a nutshell, they used a script to be able to try to predict the max supply based on how the blocks are coming out and the rate they're coming out. But this could all change a little bit. And with this script, it didn't really just tell us 29 billion exactly. Based on the calculations, it looks like we're only gonna ever hit 28.7 billion. But just in case this calculation's off, we know for sure that hard coded in the Kaspa network is 29 billion, and we know for sure that the Kaspa supply will never go over this. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and before we go, if you have not already heard yet, my Discord is now open to the public, and I decided to only put a few items on lockdown and through a paywall, but the bulk majority of my Discord is available to the public, and the link is down below if you want to join in there. And it's a great way to just chat with me or other like-minded people like myself. But if you do want a little bit more access that you can get within the Discord, this includes things like YouTube videos. So you get to see all of these videos before they go out live to the public. All of my Discord members were going to be able to see this video that I just recorded right now about almost 24 hours earlier than everyone else. And then you can also get behind the scenes content of what I'm working on. You can see my crypto portfolio, my retirement portfolio. You can also see a net worth pie chart to kind of see how I'm allocating my personal money. And then also you get access to Google Sheets in the Discord that you can utilize for your benefits. I have 2 Google Sheets that I made. So this Google Sheet is pretty much kind of putting your numbers in to kind of calculate how much profit you'll make within Kaspa. And then this other one here is based on my taking profits video off of Kaspa and the Google sheet that I used in that video, I have it here for you to download and put your own numbers in if you want to kind of try to make a strategy for yourself and want to take profits on Kaspa. So these are the different things you can get access to in this Discord if you do subscribe to my Patreon, which is $15 a month. And if you want a discount on that $15 a month, you could buy a full year of Patreon access. And this will only cost you an upfront fee of $144 for the whole entire year, which is equivalent to paying $15 a month at a 20% discount. So if you're interested in supporting the channel, this is a great way to do so. If not, leaving a like and subscribing to the channel is also greatly appreciated. And if you guys are new around here, make sure you guys do subscribe. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please leave a like. And as always, don't be average, be different.